qualify.
And I'm wondering in that situation, I think MarineLorD technically is like still going to be locked in there, but you could maybe get a dark story there where MarineLorD and Beastie have to fight for the fourth spot or something like that. If someone unexpected comes through and wins round 3, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We have to focus on the beginning of this series, a best of 5 between Wam and MarineLorD. It is going to be a roost mirror on the pit, and it is beginning with this strategy, the hunting cabin spam, instantly out from the roost players.
No digging into the woodline yet. And as we're getting into this game, Ozida, thank you very much for the 25 gifted subs. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, that's a lot of subways that I can buy with that many subs. We're going to have to keep going. I think we're just under 100 away. Just one more sub, and it'll almost be like we're there. But for now, we have to focus on who is going to be submitting to the other. Especially when you consider we have interesting things like the bounty element to consider in the early game here, right? This is a roost mirror. And if you're wondering where the bounty can be found, just look at the gold at the top. It's quite easy in a roost mirror to figure out who's got more.
In a roost mirror with hunting cabins, though, that might be a little bit deceiving, but
on the
we do see that MarineLorD. Yeah, I mean, they're still
there's a little bit of variance, right?
Look at it like this. So MarineLorD, he has got this really, really nice woodline that's pretty much... Wait. Okay, no, there is a villager building that for a second. I was thinking that hunting cabin... Yeah, he's in hiding. So, all right. Little discrepancies here. So Wam, he did not go for 2 villagers with that hunting cabin. So only 1 villager has made both of these. Quite a sturdy little worker there. Looks like MarineLorD is leading quite a bit when it comes to bounty right now. Sure, there are still a couple of deer remaining, but looking at how MarineLorD microed earlier in that little bout that he had with Wam Scout right there, looking pretty good for MarineLorD right now.
He had a slightly better hunting cabin time, so we can maybe equate that to like, I will say 15, 20 gold, right? But the rest is going to be hunting difference. And he's finding additional wolves on the way. So might be that he cracks tier 2 bounty. That's the big detail here, right? When they both go for this hunting cabin build, whoever actually hits 250, if the other player doesn't, the difference is actually absurdly large, considering it does buff the return rate on those cabins.
Yeah, it does immensely increase the pressure on you in order to, if you don't get that 250 tier, to go for one of the boars in order to get that boar play, get that 75 bonus bounty in. And you really do need that extra gold because you get to that tier 2, you get a lot more gold out of this hunting cabin. I think it goes up to, there's no specific percentage. It's a little bit weird with how it's calculated.
It's calculated
by like, yeah, it's a tick rate, and instead of the gold amount going up, the tick rate decreases, so it ticks faster.
I think like
a little bit harder for us to put into words.
So like roughly, I think like for example, 39. So we had like a 39 gold cabin, right? I think that would go up to like I want to say 46, maybe 47. So it's a decent increase, one that you will definitely notice as the game goes on. But someone we've been noticing on the rise, feels like you rarely ever see the alternative, which is a very different story from the long narrative of the Roost in AoE4. We are seeing the Kremlins. Golden Gate's rise to glory and its dominance over the builds seems to have disappeared.
These Kremlin placements. All right, so Wam is going to try and protect his stone mine and his woodline with his Kremlin. MarineLorD is opting to, I think it's a little bit of a better positioning. Protects both the gold, the wood, as well as the berries, should he need to go for that. Looks pretty good either way for both players. Not really anything too major to fault here, except that Wam does not have any safe gold excess. But he does have the hunting cabins at the end of the day, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, and I wonder if we'll see a potential deviation. Maybe we see MarineLorD trying for like a fast castle. Maybe we see Wam rely more heavily on passive gold. Because, of course, he could tunnel his way into these tree lines. That's something we've yet to see from either players you're mentioning. Part of it is I've seen a few builds where people do it straight away. I am actually a bigger fan of a delayed play where you get your lumber going and you get forestry first. Because you cut through those tree lines so much quicker.
Now we're seeing Wam going for that stone mine, so might be opting for a second TC kind of build. Haven't seen anything like that from MarineLorD yet. Then again, he's still building his Kremlin, so might be opting to do something similar as soon as that Kremlin is completed. Don't think it's going to be able to range that scout, but could be proven wrong. It's always the range on the... Yeah, it's going to be able to range that scout, so these outposts that have like a significantly larger footprint, it's always a little bit elusive with how large their range actually is. And now beautifully scouted by Wham, he saw those villagers moving towards it, now thinking about it again, as those militia are arriving just in time in order to be annoying on that stone mine. Oh.
I'm wondering, like, was MarineLorD intending to go stone originally, or was this a reaction to what Wham was doing? Because if you were always going to go stone, why have you placed the Kremlin on the opposite side of the base?
Probably just because it's so tantalizing, right? You have so many resources next to each other, so that Kremlin suddenly becomes like way more attractive to build it there. Puts the scouts inside the Kremlin for some extra arrows. Really, really nice touch there from MarineLorD.
Yeah, I guess for the militia, MarineLorD still has his to play with the time being, but not much time left until they expire. I could imagine it's because that small wood line, right? Because he had the hunting cabin there, he puts more value on protecting that from a potential scout burn down. But still, the price has been high. You notice the delay. Wham already almost has what he needs for a TC. And MarineLorD, where are the rocks? Get some rocks.
MarineLorD is going into Knights. Wham already adding his barracks as a response to that. But I feel like the Knights might be a little bit of a misplay here, just because we already have that Kremlin up. So there's already the chance for militia. Now, if MarineLorD decides to push with militia, they have to run all the way across the map, and then they only have like 40 seconds left until they expire.
Yeah, and of course, you know, at least if you have Knights, if you show up in their base and you force militia on the defensive, you can kind of kite them, but you do have to be careful. This unit is not slow. 1.5 movement speed by default makes it very easy to get caught off guard with these Knights.
Oh, it's a beautiful TC spot. Next to the deer, next to the berries.
I feel like those poor deer were baited to their death by the berries. They're like, oh, these look delicious. Little did they know, they'd be playing on a roost map.
Delicious for me.
Yeah, it just makes them a little bit more plump. Maybe they should have a bit extra health. This goes back to my argument. I think boars, by the way, Crackedy, I believe that when a boar kills someone, digest it, should be an extra 250 food.
Yeah, there should be a mechanic where you just feed the boar, make it as plump as possible.
It would be
and then
such a good strategy. Like intentionally feeding the boar. He just runs spearmen over.
Militia, you can feed him the militia.
Yeah, there we go. Buff Roos. We should stop.
TC gets completed here. Nice timing. Wait, that was rushed up incredibly fast.
That's a free TC build.
And wait, yeah, he's making it on stone, so and could be.
But he doesn't know that well, he knows that we know, but he doesn't know that Wham knows.
Wham does know. He has that beautiful scout positioning here by Wham. He has one on one side, he has one on the other side. Granted that one on the other side doesn't see too much. He's gonna see a hunting cabin getting sneakily placed by MarineLorD on that side.
This is extra greedy, actually. Like, look on the other side, and you can see that Wham, he's playing a bit more for kind of like, you know, a more tempered approach, shall we say. Walling off areas. He hasn't spammed the crap out of hunting cabins. Meanwhile, MarineLorD is over here going free TC plus additional hunting cabins. There's a window for Wham to exploit here.
Yeah, I feel like 3 TC, at least for the ruse, might be a little bit overkill. Oh, we see some Knights coming in here now from MarineLorD. Is he going to go and try and burn down the hunting camps? No, he's going to go straight for the villagers. Scout is in line of sight, knows what's going on there.
And notice that this was not a wooden fortress being built, by the way, right? So that area is still not fully protected, and you've just forced militia investments. That's 40 food just gone on a unit that now has to waste half of its existence chasing something on the defensive. So it is just a loss, but at the same time, MarineLorD built a knight for this, right? 240 resources, you want to be doing more with it than forcing 40 resources from your opponent.
And now we have MarineLorD going for that. Wait, that's more than 8 villagers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I mean, there's gold here, right?
Yeah, that's his 3rd town center now.
It does ensure he gets up fast. Maybe that's his concern, right? Because remember, MarineLorD did scout out that he was being watched on the stone. So maybe paranoia sets in as well, where you're like, okay, if I don't bring additional villagers, this is never going up.
Behind this, Wham is now starting to wall up the entire map, but at the same time, he's walling the middle, just as MarineLorD is sending some units through the middle. That wall is very likely going to get discovered, and the villager is probably going to go down. That's going to be our first villager kill in this series so far, unless he survives. But those militia are quite fast, but
they keep attacking. They keep like, oh, what were we doing out here? Oh, we chased up. What were we doing out here again? I seem to keep forgetting.
For those who get the reference, an illusion, what are you hiding? As they start to like see the villager. Oh, it's gone. Wait, what are you hiding? Oh, it's gone.
Nothing to see here. Move on. Unless you're just going to commit at this point. Almost dead, but of course they're going to expire anyway. So walls look like they will go up for Wam. Notice that his military force is a lot more chunky than MarineLorD's. Well, that's what happens when you decide to go free TC versus 2. There is a window that your opponent can exploit. Oh, and I see it.
As yeah, the knight count right now is similar. I'm wondering if Wam is going to go for a castle age timing here.
That's my thought, right? Like, you saw it as well, right? The walls, the way this is setting up, the resource bank. He doesn't want to play TC from behind, but if he grabs the relics in a mirror matchup where you both want them, miles ahead. And the cool thing is with this timing, I don't think he even needs to go for an Abbey of Trinity, right? He could go for a high trade house on those thick wood lines and still get into monks ahead of his opponent.
The question is, where are you going to place the high trade house exactly? Because he might have to delete one of his hunting cabins in order to place it. Once you cross paths with them, you're going to have a bad time. If they're like in the influence of each other, you're going to get less gold out of him.
Maybe that hunting cabin we just saw embedded in the wood line, right? By the time he has the resources, I think he would have killed enough trees that he can just stick it deep in that line.
Knight's posturing around there. That wall is not going to go up for the time being.
And he's building a high trade house, but it's not the high value one we were maybe snooping on. He's going to put it towards the edge of his wood formation. Raids in the meantime are going to idle him on the front side. And MarineLorD smiles as he realizes he still has free reign, a reign of terror that he's now going to direct towards the main base. In fact, is he just taking out the boar?
Be a medium trade house. Yeah, he's killing the boar. That's a really good move.
75
I
gold.
hope Wam already unlocked tier 2. If he didn't, then that's gonna sting quite a bit once he finds out.
March back in. Both just trying to force idle time in each other's bases at this point. Walls are going up, though. Wam says, if you want to stay the night, you have to stay the whole night.
It's gonna be paid for heavily, though, with those villagers. At least those have textiles, I believe. They felt quite tanky.
Maybe. I mean, these are feudal knights, right? So it's a bit debatey in that regard, but wouldn't surprise me. He finally does get the final piece of wall down. So no, it's only 50 health on each of these villies. And tech up is at least complete. MarineLorD, look at his bank here. He didn't play for a tech up opportunity at all. He's holding a lot of gold due to the passive generation, but his food is a mile away, and he's making a farm transition.
He's made archers as he's making the farm transition.
Oh, God.
That's pain. If I was MarineLorD right now, I'd be like, wait, he's castle? How?
Wait.
Then he looks at his gold bank, was like, oh, that's how, right.
Oops. I mean, the crazy part is like that. This is the greed of third TC versus 2. Like, this is a great comparison. The fact that Wam is able to bring more military to the field at an earlier point and then still get a quicker tech unlock. And now that he's unlocked that tech, we mentioned going high trade house. This early, this big of an advantage in that timing allows you to still pick up the relics as he's now producing those expensive monks.
Yeah, it looks like MarineLorD notices that, though. He is making the wall, and he's making it fast. Since a lot of villagers there, he wants to get that wall down as soon as possible. That's going to lock down 2 relics. Definitely wants to have those protected.
And he's guarding on the other side as well. He's small walling around the relic on the north side, so you know it's going to take a while, but eventually MarineLorD should be able to net himself free compared to the 2. He does have to slow down this approach from Wam on the flank, though.
Is he gonna? Yeah, he's gonna let the knights through. He's not gonna be able to keep him out.
You got the archers,
though. Yeah. They're also looking hungry for spearmen.
The villies are getting a bit ambitious with their goals here. Archers are going to snipe out the spears. Second wave is on the way. This might keep it open for Wam, but remember those are militia, so they can't stay here indefinitely. You're going to need the knights to survive this battle, and right now, I'm not sure how I feel about their odds.
Yeah, these militia, though, they're castle age militia, right? So they scale automatically.
That is the word. That is definitely 100% the word. And there's definitely some sort of heresy involved in that. I'll agree with that. And it does allow him to turn the fight, but now he's going to be turned upon. The charge in is beautifully done by MarineLorD, and he even now targets the warrior monk, guaranteeing that you shouldn't be able to return this home. But he's a tanky boy.
Is he tanky enough, though? Yeah, that's not going to happen. That would have been juicy. It would have been insane, but it's not going to happen.
MarineLorD behind this. Look at how much he's saved up, all right? He's been putting all of his pennies together from the Tooth Fairy. He's ready to head up, and he's going to go up with the Abbey of the Trinity, realizing that he needs to address this relic situation immediately.
Have we looked at the most important thing yet in this game? How much gold does that high trade house give Wam? Is it a high trade house or is it a medium trade house?
149.
I say 128. That feels bad. What?
Oh, get out of here.
But now we also have to know what bounty level is Wam on.
Oh, but
if he's on less than, then again, yeah, it probably doesn't matter. He's got the deer, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna get to 250
he'll get
at
there.
one point.
But I think he's got some overlap the other hunting cabin as well is the problem. It looked like it was close enough, so I think that's probably chunking off. I want to say, like, 15, 20 gold.
No, it should be far enough away. Yeah, it's
one.
definitely far enough away.
Is it?
No, they're far enough. Yeah, the rings can connect with each other. Just the actual hunting cabin can't be inside.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Still, I'm spitting at that. To give you kind of MarineLorD's perspective on it.
All right, MarineLorD prepping the crossbows now as well. Still has a couple of archers. They're not going to help him a lot. Also making some men-at-arms. Wait, that warrior monk, as he's walking back, I think he's exposed.
He has been wrapped on. He's forced to ditch as well. Nice jump in there by MarineLorD. However, he needs to be careful about the way he takes these fights. Wham! With a clear overload in the night department. 13 in total. MarineLorD, unable to take a direct fight, will have to forfeit the third relic.
These aren't your average knights. These are advanced knights. They have that Boyar's Fortitude, that plus 30 HP, and they're coming to stay. They wanna hit MarineLorD where it hurts in the farm transition. MarineLorD has continued to make farms, and that might be like the prime opportunity for Wam to do some damage now on those villagers that are just trying to mind their own business, trying to get some food in for the Rus Empire here. But now we see the armies clashing.
And he hasn't got many crossbows, right? 3 in the field so far. That's not enough to break this. I like the idea of using the military productions to create choke points, but right now you feel like the one choking here. These knights, not only will they clean up your army, but there's enough to just spread out and chase eco everywhere.
Yeah, this is going to look really, really rough for MarineLorD now. He's lucky he still has 3 archery ranges on the opposite side of his base, so that the military units aren't going to get killed as soon as they pop out. But he's in a rough position right now. The crossbow still getting a good amount of damage in. Also have the potential to just jump inside of the TC should things get too dicey. Now also luring them over to that Kremlin.
Good Gatling gun down. Shouldn't have the castle turret though, so the arrow fire not too impactful against Castle Age Knights. Wham! Like, you see that count, right? The knight count isn't really decreasing. Admittedly, there are a lot of heavily injured ones, but that just means we've got a second wave that's yet to join the party.
Yeah, I was thinking if Wam is overstaying his welcome. Doesn't look like he is. Looks like he's getting a huge amount of value here right now. Could potentially try and shift this fight over to the 30C from MarineLorD and potentially burn that one down.
Yeah, and you now see MarineLorD understands what's happened here. Wham, he got the level 2 ranged arm upgrade. MarineLorD didn't count that out yet, right? He's now only getting his level 2 offensive upgrade. And that's why he was able to last that long underneath the TCs. Cool thing as well is, like, you've got these warrior monks. They've done their due diligence. They've done their duty. Now you can just use them to heal in the downtime.
Yeah, there's still a relic left in the base of Wam that he hasn't collected yet.
Oops.
Gets a second Sacred Site as well, and now he's also building up his crossbow numbers. Has more crossbows than MarineLorD. And if he goes for like a big push now, I don't see a way for MarineLorD to really defend against that. That high trade house is so valuable right now. Not just giving him the gold for those knights, but also the food that he needs to sustain it.
Raid's going to come in on the TC extension. Hasn't healed up these knights, but that's mainly just archers still in that mass. MarineLorD is at least now starting to take the lead over his previous archers in crossbows, but I'm just still looking at that knight count. I mean, MarineLorD, he has none. Wham has 20 times that. Actually, infinite times that, technically.
All right, now the crossbows are finally starting to walk together with those knights, and I'm really waiting for this this coherent push coming out from Wam right now. He really needs to... He's still behind in economy, after all. He needs to do damage. He has the military advantage. He just needs to use it now.
And you know, it's not just the fact he got an extra relic, he's also got 2 sacred sites locked in, like plus the high trade house we talked about. There's a lot of extra details here. So you can't just look at that eco at the top and go, wow, MarineLorD, I mean, he's 20 villages up. It's quite simple. No, that was the price of this free TC build, is that Wam got resources elsewhere to make up the difference. Flash in.
Looks like Wam disabled the automatic healing from his Warrior Monk. So that Warrior Monk is going to attack. And that spreads the buff.
Oh, Wam. Quick to envelop here. MarineLorD is going to be wrapped up in a parcel and sent to where he came from. This breakthrough could easily just dive into the base, not only taking out villages, but potentially buildings.
The militia. He pulled all the militia. Now is the point where Wam is committing. The boys, the Pikey boys, are on their way.
How many points has MarineLorD got? Maybe he can mount a defense off the back of them. Remember, there's no unit that's going to get bonus damage against them, and he's at least up in castle age. But he needs to get the food together if he wants to have access to that player tool.
All right. What is Wam going to do? Is he try to fight under the TCs from MarineLorD, or is he going to try and play this methodically and take down the third TC? Looks like it's just going to be a straight-up push. He's also producing a trebuchet behind this.
Is this a keep drop?
It's going to be a keep.
It's a keep drop.
Yeah.
And there's a perfect position for it. Even more better if he gets through this archery range first. Unless you're going to commit to that. Keep drop on the way. I think you cancel and rebuild this deeper, right?
You could. 100% could. He's not going to cancel it from the looks of it.
Okay.
I mean, this is still good because it also blocks the third TC, right? So he can never send his economy back to the opposite side of the map through that, path.
Well, now he can actually just split that up, right? Divide and conquer. Once the castle's up, he can turn around and freely burn down the other TC without threat to his army.
MarineLorD is now making his first siege unit of the game as well. Trebuchet into a Mangonel. That's unlikely going to be in time, though. And Wam is almost on 30 knights right now.
And Wam, by the way, has siege already on the way. He's got double trebuchet ready to play. He's going to force a fight. MarineLorD has to commit in, lacking the front line once more. And once more, the Saint's Blessing makes this so simple for Wam to cut through him like a hot knife through butter.
This is so important to disable that automatic healing. It makes such a huge difference. Once that Saint Blessing comes in, sure, he didn't play with the Abbey, so he's not going to get like a ton of bonuses. But it's still huge. It's still +1 attack. It's still +1 defense. And it makes a big difference, especially with how many units are out on the field right now.
I love that you bring that up, because I've seen it in the past. We've had Roost Mirrors before, done it on my own channel, and I've watched players lose because they're running around this Warrior Monk, just patting people on the head. And you're sitting there watching 20+ units missing out an extra 1 damage. It's not worth it to have the healing instead, even more so with combat healing being nerfed. But great to see Wam utilizing that. Meanwhile, Wooden Fortress spam is going to commence towards the backward line here. Mangonel's not able to find the value, and the Trebs are now starting to breach. So MarineLorD, he's on the clock here. Probably has 2 to 3 minutes to make something work. Otherwise, he's dead on arrival.
I want to once again say what I said earlier. Could Wam send MarineLorD to the loser bracket? That loser bracket becomes enormously more scary for Beastie. If he gets sent to the losers bracket with MarineLorD, he's gonna have to pray that he's gonna not have to face them early on.
I mean, if that happens, we might just see MarineLorD go back to spamming the basses like he did in day one, shaking his head and saying, "No way, I'm not playing any games anymore. I'm playing to win." And that's exactly what Wam is doing in this game. He's going to beat MarineLorD to the imp opportunity. High armory already on the way. MarineLorD, you can see he's scraping it together. You can see that his intent was to try and get there first.
High armory. I'm just gonna say it. Bruce Rams right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, maybe like build 2 siege workshops behind this keep, right? You had the Ford villages. Then just spam Rams. I mean, it rhymes with your name, so why not do it in game?
Yeah, the Roost Rams are absolutely scary. Okay, another clash happening here. Still 20 knights for Wam. Has a lot of crossbows as well. No Warrior Monk here this time. With the Mangonel, Wam will probably have to fall back at least a little bit, but now the Age-Up comes through.
Yep, and MarineLorD, he's only now starting his. He's also struggling in the gold department. Like, long-term, getting his upgrades is problematic. Meanwhile, Wam instantly queues up 2 pricey elite tech upgrades. But he's taking the fight before he even arrives. He sees an opportunity to dive in here. MarineLorD, where did that crossbow mass go? What happened?
Just disappeared.
Man, that
Wam
crossbow
diving
play.
in deeper and deeper.
Honestly, the night count, Wan, through this early game, into the late, it is one him through, and now these trebuchets, they'll at least be able to continue the siege, but MarineLorD, it's dire straits here. We mentioned the gold already, and we mentioned his lack of it for the upgrades. What is his option here? Surely he can only build horsemen.
Behind this, though, the castle went down. The keep went down from Wam, and now his trebuchets might be a little bit exposed. He is getting some shots on that third TC. He should, come on, just one more trap. Just unpack one trap and get that TC down for sure.
I mean, they're going to die anyway, right? At least commit with conviction here. I actually think he loses all of them. Oops.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, behind this, MarineLorD also reaches Imperial Age, but I feel like Wam is still going to be fine behind us. He's on that large gold mine in the middle. MarineLorD only just now expanding towards it since he's just gotten some breathing room. But yeah, as you said earlier, this was a premature fight from Wam. He didn't have the upgrades.
And not just that, it was his next step that worried me. I've seen this too often from players in a confident position. They beat their opponent to Imperial Age. They feel they're miles ahead. They see gunpowder. Guns beat everything. It's a lie. Eventually it beats everything. But just like in the true timeline, it takes time to get to them, right? You can't just blindly rush this. Just look at how slowly that Streltsy count is increasing.
Yeah, and behind all of this, MarineLorD didn't lose a ton of villagers. He somehow only lost like 9 villagers this game. So
That's crazy.
He's fine. He's still got more villagers right now than Wam, and oh, that's a dead Springle right there. It's a little bit unfortunate right now. Wam is probably scratching his head. Why did I place my high armory so far forward?
And did Wam at least get shutter triggers? Because he's going for banded springs. I hope he's already got shutter triggers because MarineLorD just got that unlocked, right? And this is the worrisome part. Look where he put the high armory. MarineLorD can insta-snipe anything that spawns out of this, and he doesn't even have to be going beyond the wall to do so.
Yeah, and there's no roller shutter triggers yet for Wam, so siege-wise, he's going to be far behind MarineLorD. And MarineLorD, he's making horsemen. Rue's horsemen right now are the strongest in the game with the biology upgrade, with the Boyar's Fortitude. They pack a ton of heat, and even if you have Streltsy,
it's absurd, right?
There's just, yeah, like they can survive an entire extra shot with Boyar's Fortitude.
I think it works out that these horsemen are going to be more tanky with biology than what you get on French, right? The cavalry-specific Civ. That is gruesome to think about. And these trebs behind, I mean, MarineLorD, he's been optimal with, right? Doesn't need as many trebs, and he's already doing more damage than Wam could achieve with 6.
Wam has the premium units though behind all of this. MarineLorD spamming those normal horsemen, those crossbows. Wam behind that spamming all of those.
If he burns this,
high-end pricey knights.
Roller Shot Triggers hasn't researched yet. If he hits this down before the tech completes, there's no way you can counter
It's gonna go down. It's gonna go down.
He's repairing it.
No doubt about
No!
it. There it is. It went down. Ah, that hurts. That hurts. But the crossbows, they might be out of position here right now. The Streltsy are pushing forward. He didn't get the speed upgrade yet from looks of it, else he would use that right now in order to circle around that. But MarineLorD, he put a keep up behind that, and it's going to be costly for Wam. He made so many trebuchets earlier, lost all of them. Rebuilding that number right now is going to take him a while.
And now, Rise of Rohirrim are going to move in. They have got the boys' fortitude, so Streltsy don't eviscerate them just as quickly. The step back is going to allow Wam to reset. Has to be careful though, just losing a small chunk of these compared to the cost of horsemen, it adds up fast.
Yeah, he is going to be able to win this, or rather hold for the moment. But I feel like Wam is going to have to find some way of pushing on the other sides. Now that the keep is there, it's going to take him a good chunk of time until he gets the siege that he needs in order to push that keep back, especially since MarineLorD has the firm springled advantage right now. Only now is Wam going to be able to research rolling shadow triggers again. It's not completed yet. It's going to be a while until it completes. And until then, these springles are just sitting ducks.
Now, please tell me it's not being researched in that Siege Workshop closer to MarineLorD. I think it is. Luckily, Wam is far enough through that I don't think you can kill it in time. Considering the trebs, there's only 2 of them. So fortunately for Wam, even though he didn't fully learn his lesson, he will still get the roller shutter triggers.
Wait, what's going on there? 50 idle villagers for Wam right now. It's a large gold mine.
Oh no. What?
Well, they're moving far for Wam.
They're
we
on their
go.
way back. He has got the corner gold still, right? That's the thing. But, you know, it's not like you have an edge here yet. Remember, MarineLorD, he's still got one of the central gold veins as well.
The one big advantage that I can still see here for Wam is that he has the high trade house, right?
He doesn't have the relics. Bye!
What's yours? I mean, they're both playing Ruse. What's yours is mine, says MarineLorD as he's just taking that relic right from Wham's base.
Little Smeagol just rubbing it as he goes home. Boy's Fortitude also ensuring he was extra tanky. Now the charge in, Horseman. They're going straight for the Springles. This is looking like a bad trade for him though, right? He's throwing away. He maybe gets one of the Springles out of it. Streltsy may be the bigger premium target to go for. The Mangonels are going to be able to move him because of that. And the heavy hit in! They're not dead just yet, but the second flurry all but guaranteed. Wham is about to lose the army, and he might lose the game.
Oh my god, there were so many Streltsy going down there. This might have been it. That was like 20 Streltsy that Wam just lost there. And I mean, he still has a lot of gold in reserve. He's getting a ton of passive gold. Oh, we're seeing it. We are seeing the Ruse Rams.
It's his only play, right? Like you just mentioned, all the Streltsy going down. 20 Streltsy gone, 4,800 resources. Half of that is gold. Yes, you got that big gold vein, but that's only 8K. So if you put it in that kind of comparison, 25% of your remaining gold you can rush has been obliterated by 2 Mangonels. Not good.
MarineLorD at the same time, he knows where Wham's last gold is on that hill, and he's pushing on the other side of the map.
He's knocking on the door, and I don't know if Wham has noticed yet. I don't think he's noticed at all. He's on the way now, but by the time he arrives, MarineLorD's already going to be through.
Yeah, that might be quite awkward in just a little bit. We see that that gold mine from Wham at the bottom is completely surrounded by villagers, so that's a lot of potential will kills. Horsemen are now running not towards that point, though.
He was checking center first. I'm perplexed on so many levels. Wham, he actually broke away from blocking that excursion by MarineLorD. So MarineLorD gets in. There's a delayed response. He might now realize this and just send double the Horsemen through. Meanwhile, Wham, he's going to try to hide this, right? Can we check vision? Because it's critical that these Rams are not seen.
No, not the
Mangonels
again.
Oh my god.
He has no.
This delayed Streltsy play by MarineLorD. I mean, this is the way you do it. He forced Wham to invest first, lose everything, and now realizing the eco advantage he has, he goes into premium. And the sad reality is Wham, because he was switching to Rams, because he didn't have Siege to his name, he had no Mango play of his own to make.
Now behind this, MarineLorD is even sieging down the High Armory itself. So not even just the siege workshops around it, the High Armory itself. Once that goes down, it's going to be a lot of wood that you have to invest in order to build that one up again. And MarineLorD, he still has a good amount of gold on the map that he can access. And this is rough. The Rams are coming in now, but Horseman reinforcements are going to be able to deal with it. There's still some Springles that are able to take shots on those Rams. Doing a good bunch of damage.
In the base,
yeah,
though.
those Rams aren't gonna...
They've wrapped into the back of Wham's base here. This is going to idle up a lot. Meanwhile, this is going to hold in the front side, right? Just enough Streltsy to get through the cavalry. And these horsemen, you know exactly where they're heading. He sniffed it out. He understands the gold.
Cabin. Don't build that. Don't build that hunting cabin. Wham, no. Oh, no. Look at the high trade
He's got
house.
bigger problems, Crackedy. That southern corner is about to go from gold to blood gold.
Oh, no. They're there. The horsemen have arrived, and they are gonna take names. So many villagers there exposed for Wham, and this might be it. Wham is pulling all the villagers back. Does he have any military close or nearby that he can pull them towards, though?
He stretched, Finn. 30 military total, eco shrinking as well. Everything going the way of MLord, quality and quantity. And Wham, he has no second line of defenses to rely upon here, right? That breakthrough point never got rewalled. He knows what comes next, and he doesn't want to wait around for it. GG, MarineLorD opens with a win.
And that was such a rough game, though. Like, that push from Wham. If only he waited. If only he waited a little bit longer until his elite upgrades completed. He put so much gold into those upgrades. For only, like, I think 2 crossbows probably got upgraded, and they probably died on the retreat anyway. So, yeah, we can see here, he got to Imperial Age and then lost all of his military units. Such a rough loss there, and after that, he just wasn't able to keep up with MarineLorD's superior economy from that 3 TC. He took down the TCs, but he never really killed villagers.
That's the awkward part, right? There's so many elements that play that are perplexing, right? You can see that Wam has this slow approach to the siege when he doesn't even have things like the increased movement speed, right? So he understands that he's